Hey folks, Jeff Sieh here once again for Amazon Day specials. We are streaming live. I'm here with my good friend Shannon Hernandez. And if you don't know who Shannon is, he actually helps me produce Guy Kawasaki's Remarkable People podcast. So he is the genius that has been helping me since the Google Plus days. Back in the day.
This is where all this gray is coming from, man.
That's right. I didn't even have a beard, I don't think, when I met Shannon. But if you're watching us on other channels, you want to make sure that you guys go over to jeffc.live or shanman.tips/Amazon. That lets you purchase all the wonderful goodness that we found for you. You can we'll be highlighting it in the carousel down below where you guys can actually check out the stuff we were talking about and the stuff that we use. We're going to be demoing some stuff today. We're going to be talking about podcasting. So make sure that you ask your questions. We've already got one of my friends here. So let me pull this off here. But Tim Sohn is here again. He's always watching live. Hey to you, Tim. Hey, Tim, what's your favorite piece of podcasting gear or live streaming gear? Because I know you do a lot of live streaming. So let us know what your favorite piece of gear is. Who knows? It could be on sale today at Prime Day. So one of the things that I talked about last night, and I wanted you guys to be aware of if you're first-time Prime Day people or users. Let me put my keyboard down so we have some room.
This is all unscripted, by the way, just to let
they
people
can tell
know.
that already, probably.
Yeah,
but
all unscripted.
One of the things that I'm going to talk about a couple things during the show today that if they broke or I lost them or Shannon mysteriously put them in his bag and absconded with them, that I would go out and get again. And this is one of them. So I'm going to go to my overhead camera here. And this is the Kindle Oasis. And the best time to buy these is, of course, on Prime Day. I have right here a book of my good friend who was just on the show. If you go back and look on that at jeffc.live, you'll see the show where I interviewed Ross Brand. He has this book, 100 Live Streaming Digital Media Predictions. Great book, great guy. But this is the Kindle Oasis. Now, this is like their top-of-the-line model because I'm a big reader. And it's got the physical buttons right here on the side, but the ink, the e-ink is just gorgeous. It's super easy to read, and there's not really any flash when you change the screen. Like some of the older e-readers, there'd be like a really kind of long flash when you turn the page, which is kind of annoying. You can also do it with your finger, but I love this. And the reason I bought the Kindle, because at the time, the Kindle Oasis, because at the time it was the only one that offered the warm light. Now the Paperwhite has the warm light as well. This is also, it's all flat. There's no bevels on it, and it's also waterproof. So you could sit by the pool and read it, or if you accidentally drop in your toilet, which then you would have to throw out the Kindle and get a new one, but just like on Seinfeld. But this is an amazing device. I love it. I love reading books on it. This is what I take like when I go on vacation, where I can sit somewhere and just read. So my wife won't let me buy any books anymore unless they're on this, because she was tired of having them stacked. You can get the one I have highlighted down in the carousel actually is a bundle that comes with a cover, and the cover is waterproof too, which is very, very cool. So
that's cool. Yeah, that's really cool.
So anyway, it's kind of, you can listen to Audible on this as well, which is nice. So it kind of ties into podcasting, but I read stuff about podcasting on my Kindle, so that's how I justified bringing it in the show. What about you? What's one of the things that you're excited about, Shannon?
Well, man, that's a really good question to ask me, because there's a lot of things I'm excited about going through my carousel right now. I guess I could. What's that?
I was going to talk, since we're on this anyway, because I think you put this in yours as well, is the new Echo, and this is the music one. It's the higher end with the sound.
Oh yeah, the Echo.
Yeah, and so I do listen to podcasts on this. So I had some of the old Puck ones that didn't even have the newer models have some of this felt or material on it. I had some old ones, so this is just a really big upgrade to me. But it sounds pretty nice, and I really like this. And those, once again, if you're going to buy an Echo or a Kindle or any of the Amazon products, today is the last day to do that for a while, because Prime Day ends tonight at midnight. So I bought one of those actually for a friend of mine, because I had
heard one from, I can't remember if it was my sister or whatnot, and I was like, man, that thing sounds awesome. And so I had bought one for my friend because when she was like, we were talking about basically like smart speakers, right? We were like, she was like, smart speakers, don't you listen to podcasts or music? How do you listen to your podcast or music? And she was just like, I don't listen to podcasts. She goes, but I do like to listen to my music. And and of course the conversation went on saying like, do you have a Spotify? What do you got? And she was like, yeah, I got Spotify. I go, yeah, that connects directly to Spotify, so you can listen to Spotify music directly through that if you wanted to. So I went ahead and I bought that, and then since I had sent that to her, she was like totally ecstatic, and she was like, this is like the best thing I've ever gotten. She goes, in fact, my kids are getting annoying by asking it a million questions.
And so go ahead, go what you're saying. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
Go ahead. No, I'm done.
So one of the cool things is it does have the tripod mount here, and you can get two of them and pair them for stereo mode, which I have not tried yet. The main use that I use, other than listening to podcasts and Spotify, like you said, is I actually use this to control my house with. Like I have it, so I have it on mute, so that's why it's red. I say, Alexa, turn on Office, and it'll turn it on. It actually turns on my Office, and I have it set up so it turns off my alarm, and it gets everything ready. So I love these for home automation uses. The only thing that was a little bit different about this one, I was so used to the puck kind of ones that the lights are on the top.
Pots,
and so this one's on the bottom, and so it was just like, where did the lights go that tell me that she's listening? So that's the only thing that's a little bit different. But other than that, I really like this. Once again, it is on sale today, and this is the final day of Prime Day.
Absolutely. I want to say hi to someone, Jeff, real quick. I want to say hi to my friend George Shower. He's over there on the East Coast watching today on Amazon Live. Whether he's on Amazon Live or I don't know if he's on YouTube. To be quite honest, and to anyone who is watching right now, this is like really kind of my first time doing Amazon Live. Jeff has done this quite a bit. So if there's, there might be some technical difficulties on my end, not necessarily on Jeff's end, because Jeff's the expert about this. So
no, we're all good. We're all good. So if you're getting it off of your comments off of your screen there in Amazon, that's going to be only you can see that. I can't see that when I'm doing this.
Gotcha.
But that's the other thing. If you're just tuning in and you're wondering, like, if I say something and you don't see it on my carousel, then that's going to be on Shannon's. And the best way is just to follow both of us over at jeffc.live and shanman.tips/Amazon. That will take you to our storefront where you can, watch all this stuff, check out the products we have. This will be available for replay if, like, you missed something, and you can see our carousels there. But, jeffc.live, shanman.tips/Amazon is where you can find the Shan Man. But go ahead and the other one is I was going to talk about. I can wait till you go and talk about your first product, Shannon. So go right ahead.
Yeah, so I mean, let's just go ahead and I'm going to jump right into it because last night, as you and I were planning all this stuff out, and I was thinking to myself, well, let's do some podcasting gear, but there's also other things that happen, that you need. That's, I guess you could consider as podcasting gear. So like your Amazon Kindle, that would be considered like podcasting gear to me, right? That would be gear because you're learning about podcasting, you're learning about whatever it may be. But that could be just about anything that you're looking at. But I want to just go ahead and start off with, I told my email list, I said, hey, look, I'm going to do some reviews on some products. I know you've got some cool stuff. So without further ado, let's talk. I'm going to just jump right into it. I'm going to talk about this Shure SM7B that I'm using right now on camera. So this is actually, believe it or not, Jeff, this was a pandemic buy.
Really?
This was a pandemic buy. Yeah. Because at the time, when we were planning on going on the air at the radio station. So for those of you who don't know, I work at a radio station, but those who do know, pandemic changed the lives of everyone, most people, I would say. And we were asked to start working from home. And so I had to really do a makeshift studio here. And so there were some things that I had to start getting. I needed to get a solid mic. And I was using some other mics, and we'll talk about that here shortly. But I ended up buying the Shure SM7B, and I'm sure, as you can see right here and here, this is what it sounds like. Now, just so you know that this microphone is being run through a Rodecaster Pro 2. So I got the brand new Rodecaster Pro 2. So there is some processing that is on that, and there is, I'm still doing a little bit of tweaking. So if the sound is a little bit different, then yeah, that's kind of what's going on. But I see that Rich in my stream, he says, great sound, guys. So it sounds as though it sounds really great. But as you can tell, man, this is a really great sounding microphone. You will need to get, obviously, some type of stand with it. But this is it, man. There are some settings on the back of it that you can go ahead and some different phases that you can go ahead and adjust and adjust that sound with. But I've been very happy with this microphone, and I have been able to do not only just podcast recordings, but I do live streams with this microphone. I've been able to do production imaging with this microphone using my own voice. So this is the microphone that everyone is using. Most people, I would say, everyone is using. I think you use a different microphone though, but it's all going to depend on your taste. I saw
everybody
your
sounds different. Yeah, everybody sounds
exactly.
different.
Everyone's got a different timbre to their voice. And something that I found was interesting when I was watching your live stream yesterday was that, something that Michelle had said. She had said, it is different for everyone's voices. And that is a very true thing. It's very different. So when you're running this microphone through some type of mixing board or something like that, you are going to be running some type of processing through it, right? But if you're going to be running it, like say through a Yamaha MG10XU mixing board, there's not a whole lot of processing that's going to be going on there. You're going to get the onboard processing that is going to be on that actual mixing board itself. So there's just highs, lows, and mids right there. And it's going to be more of a flat sound. So you're getting a more true to sound, overall sound for the microphone itself. With this microphone, and it's something that you and I had talked about, Jeff, was, that you can hear just about anything. So if you can hear probably the air conditioner in my place, because it's like, here in Arizona, it's 9:30 in the morning and it's already 100 degrees outside and it is roasting. And so I have an air conditioner running. I got a fan running. You're probably going to end up hearing my main air conditioner going on. So you can hear quite a bit, but that's not necessarily always a bad thing. All right. So you just got to adjust to your environment. Not everyone can live in a place where there's sound that can be
we're both got stuff going on right now.
You're in Texas, I'm in Arizona. I mean, it's hot. It's really, really hot. So this mic is a very good microphone. This is the microphone that Joe Rogan uses. This is a microphone that a lot of people use at at radio stations now. They're starting to use these microphones because they sound really great. These are dynamic microphones. So one of the cool things, I don't know if you knew this about this, Jeff, and I didn't bring it with me, but one of the cool things, it actually comes with a different windscreen on it. So it comes with that real narrow windscreen.
Right.
But if you didn't know, and you probably hear this happen, this pops off just like that,
right.
And you can put that original windscreen. So that's what it looks like.
So why did you change
normally.
windscreen? You just like that one better?
Yeah, I just like this one better. This is what I'm more comfortable with when I use it at work. I have a windscreen that looks just like this.
Okay.
So yeah, this is a really cool windscreen that I like. But guys, some of the guys at work, they like that more thin windscreen.
So do you guys change out the windscreen so you're not breathing each other's airs when you're at the
Yeah, that was a big thing during the pandemic was that everyone was going to be using the same microphone at the radio station. Everyone was like scared of germs at that point. And so we all had our own windscreen that we would take in and we would be disinfecting everything, and none of us got sick, believe it or not. So I guess it worked.
So it's funny because you mentioned that Michelle was saying like this is the Heil PR40. So that's what I'm using. It's kind of the a lot of podcasters use it like Pat Flynn, and Michelle yesterday was saying like Pat finally gave up his microphone and got a new one because she was like don't you ever like smell it, so this is the Heil PR40, which is from Heil, which I really, really like. But and if you want to go back to like my YouTube or something, Michelle from Heil Sound was there, and we did a demo about a ton of different mics, tested them out.
That was cool.
I just really like, and once again, Shannon is on the SM7B from Shure, and this is the Heil, and everyone sounds different. And I'm gonna go over a couple of different microphones that I have right now as well. So this is what I sound like with the Heil. I am having processing done on it because there is a fan blowing right on my face because you can see my hair move. It's just important. But I'm going to run through another one because this one is really cool from Heil as well. And this is also a dynamic mic. And it's an in-fire one. So just like Shannon is talking into the end of it, you want to speak into the end of it, not through the sides. And Michelle yesterday even said that because air actually comes out of that. That's why you don't want to talk into this because it doesn't really work. But if you talk here, that's where it's built to be on the in-fire. So just realize that. I like the Heil PR40. There's a lot of people. Cliff Ravenscraft is a big podcaster. Like I said, Pat Flynn, Michael Hyatt, a lot of other people use this one. And so it just go try them out and see. But that is in the carousel down below. The next one is I'm going to turn this one off and start the other one. So.
What you were doing yesterday, testing the different microphones, I thought was really, really cool.
So it's the most. I think it sounds pretty good too, and a lot of people thought so as well. So I'm gonna go full screen, but this is, and I think I'm gonna do it so it hangs from the top down, kind of the Elvis thing. This is the Fin microphone.
Before you continue, I have to tell you this. After I saw you doing the demo on this, and we'll see you doing the demo, but after I saw you doing the demo on this, and then you said, "Oh, they got a certain color," I was like. I emailed Michelle and I was like, I've got to try that one.
Are you talking about? Oh yeah, I think I have it. I might be able to go get it because I haven't unboxed it yet. But this is the Fin microphone from Heil. It's the same thing. It's a dynamic microphone. For a dynamic microphone, you do not need to have power to it unless you have lights, and these are lit up. And so the only reason you need phantom power is for these lights. So it works fine without phantom power. If you're taking it to a gig somewhere and they didn't have it and you just need a microphone, still works. It just looks cooler with phantom.
And it's on this end, as I was listening to it, it sounds really crisp and clean. I would say highly comparable to the Shure SM7B or the Heil PR40. I mean, that sounds really good on this end. It
just really is. And so they have the chrome version in the blue lights. Now, the lights do not change. You have to get a different microphone for the different colors. They have it in a red version with the red lights, and they also have it in white. So I just think it looks stinking cool. And it looks so cool that I'm not the only one who thinks that, because it was used on the Hunger Games in the reopening scene. They actually had it in there, which is kind of cool. If you're a Hunger Games fan, that, I don't look like Jennifer Lawrence, but you can imagine
a little
bit. But the other thing is what Shannon was talking about. They have this in matte black as well, and the red one, the red one looks like it looks like something Darth Vader would have. So it's really really cool.
I want that one, and just like you said, you want to get it and you want to hang it. That's how I want to do it. I want to hang mine.
Yeah. So I just haven't messed with it. Yeah, I just haven't messed with it yet.
Yeah. I want to say hi real quick to Andy Lyons, one of our old friends.
Yeah, I know her.
She is here. So she says she's waving wildly from Boston.
Well,
hey, Andy.
That's so cool. Hey, Andy, thanks for stopping by. And also, Mia Voss is in the house saying the beard game on this show is strong. Two of my favorite people. And hi, Brahmi. Is that what she's saying? Yeah. So
Brahimi.
Yeah,
that's our nickname for each other. I don't know where that came from.
So I still have that picture of where we spoke at Podcast Movement, and she's sitting between us grabbing our beards. So
that's right. Yeah, I think I still got that too. Yeah.
And my friend Lauren Gagolia is here. Dude, Amazon just had you guys in my app. So that is very cool. That was fantastic. Yes, it's very, very cool. And you need thanks, Lauren. We need to chat soon because I've got some stuff to talk to you about. But
I saw Lauren's going to a Podcast Movement. I think she just bought her tickets.
I will be there, Lauren. I'm going to be doing a live show there for Ecamm as well. So, we'll definitely, because Lou's going to be there, Eric's going to be there, Shannon needs to be there, but it'll be a fun time. So this is the Fin microphone. Sounds really, really cool. I like it. But wait, there's more.
There's more.
There's more. The other thing is, so Shannon did the SM7B, and I want to do its little brother here. So let me turn this one off.
This is actually a microphone I've been very interested in looking at. Can't hear you. It's all right. Jeff's just testing. Can't hear you. So once he gets that all popped up, can't hear you. Still can't hear you. As you know, folks, this is all just testing, of course. Well, I mean, as we're doing it, of course, this is all going as live, not pre-rehearsed. We're trying to do our best to get this moving up and running. So, but the microphone that Jeff is about to look at is the Shure. I believe it's the MV7 USB microphone. And this is a microphone that was released just recently. In fact, I want to say it was like something that was released for the.
I can't hear you anymore, Shannon.
Oh, there you are.
But you're talking. Keep talking.
Oh, I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you,
I hear
Jeff.
you.
But anyway,
Dun,
I'm
dun,
still
dun, dun,
going on,
dun.
and I'll be talking real quick. This is I
There it
think a
is.
pandemic purchase. There we go. So Jeff, I was just talking. I'm sure you're going to be displaying the Shure
Yes,
MV7, right?
right here.
And I
Now,
was saying that this is probably going. This was probably Shure's answer to a pandemic podcast mic.
yes. And so I think it sounds pretty good. And
It
I do
sounds
have this going into the Rodecaster. I just have the Rodecaster Pro. I have the first one. But I like the way this sounds, and I do have processing on because of the wind. But this one comes. This is the kit, and all Shure microphones right now are on sale on Prime Day.
Yeah.
There's a significant discount for even the SM7B. This is the kit, and it comes with. And I'll hold it up here. This little podcasting stand by Manfrotto. I think it's their Pixie, and I really like it because you can move it around the desk. To me, this is a perfect mic if you're wanting to upgrade your sound. Like if you're started with something, you just kind of, you start your podcast and just kind of scrapping it together, and you want to upgrade to the next level. This is comparable, I think, to the SM7B sounds really, really good, but this sounds really, really good as well. So it's also an XLR mic. All the ones we've shown so far are XLR mics. So they're dynamic XLR mics, and they have to you have to plug them into like an interface, and Shannon's going to show some of those later. But the cool thing about this is also a USB mic, so you can upgrade at a slower pace. Like you could get this mic, you can plug it straight to your computer. All the controls, if you look right here, they're right at the top, and those light up, and you can mute and control things from the top of the microphone. That's really cool. And it has an app.
Wait, you're telling me that, like, go ahead and go back to that top-down view real quick.
Okay.
So you're telling me, like, right there, you can control the output of the microphone on that top?
Yeah.
Or is that for the headphones?
No,
or
it's for, you can, I think you can, it's, I always know which way to go. Okay, so you can have it for the app. The app, you can control it for different things. Like you can mute it, and I think you can control the gain, and I believe you can also, there is a headphone monitor thing on the back. I think you can control that as well. But since I'm going in XLR, I don't need that. I mean, because I have it all over there on my board. But for when you have USB, if you're just getting started, it's a really great feature to have. Like, we're going to be talking about the Yeti later. That's on sale as well. And I started with the Yeti. Shannon was the one who told me to get the Yeti when we first got started, and I used it for years. And I thought it was a great mic. It's a condenser mic, picks up a lot more noise. But I would say if you're starting and you have the budget, especially on Prime Day, like right now, this is the one I would get probably because you have the options. You have the XLR and a USB. So.
Yeah. Catherine Lang, she says, "Wow, that was amazing at how directional that mic is."
Oh yeah, this one, they're all So and
so that's Go ahead.
I was gonna say this. I mean, the other thing you were talking about your windscreens. A lot of people who are doing video podcasts now, they customize their color to their logo and stuff, which is cool that you can swap out the windscreen for different colors.
Yeah.
So
I think that's a really cool thing because I think like when you get it's when you get something like say like a Heil PR40 or a Blue Yeti, they don't come with those windscreens. You have to actually buy your own windscreen. But that's not a problem. I mean, you can buy them online, but it's cool that you can actually get them to fit that Shure microphone. In fact, you can probably get them for this one or the one that you got that you're displaying on your screen.
Yeah. So anyway, this is once again because of the versatility of it. I just think that this is one if you're wanting to upgrade or you want just to start a podcast. This is the one that I would look at. So.
And, I got to tell you, man, those are great options just because, when, years ago when you and I first started doing a lot of stuff online and we were jumping into the game and everyone was using like different microphones, I didn't have the money, you and I didn't have the clients.
Sometimes
we didn't have the client list. Yeah, we didn't have any of that stuff. And so we started at the very bottom and we started with those. And, I saw a lot of flack from people who were say like, oh, this microphone doesn't do this and this microphone doesn't do that. What they don't, the one thing that I wish I really would have spoke up on back then was that when you're using these microphones, if you're plugging like, say, like the Shure, you're plugging in the Shure MV7 in to a computer, just you got to know that there's no processing on that
you
microphone.
Shoot up the gain. Yeah.
Yeah, and people are just like, this microphone sounds like crap, whatever. No, it's that they don't understand the nature of the microphone. The microphone is being plugged into something that does not have processing, versus what Jeff was just talking about, where he was saying this is plugged into my Rodecaster. There is processing that is being run on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and so you can adjust that processing however you want between different microphones. Just don't say a microphone isn't good enough, because you have to understand that it doesn't have like a preamp going through it or anything like that. It's just being, yeah. So you have to understand those types of things.
And so one of the things too, you got to test them out. You got to try them out, and you got to make it sound like you want it to sound. Like I like the radio deep. I've got big. There's a thing called big bottom setting on here because one, I have a big bottom, and it just makes me feel good that I use the same processing. But I'm going to turn it off, and you guys let me turn it off, and I'll let you hear what it sounds like without processing.
Okay.
So this would be like right out of the box. So all the
still sounds great.
Oh wait, I turned off the wrong one. That's not the truth.
I was going to say, still sounds great.
Yeah, it's this one. Let me turn this one. So this is all the processing off. So it still sounds good, but you can hear wind noise coming on because I don't have a noise gate on it or anything like that with the Rodecaster Pro. But still, man, if you were right out of the box plugging into your computer, you pump up the gain a little bit. I think I have the gain set to like 33, 34 on my Rodecaster. It still sounds good. I mean, this is still very, very passable without having any of the fancy stuff that we run it through.
Yeah, it's a little more flat of a sound, obviously, right? There's a flatter sound.
Some people like
it. Doesn't have that deep end. Yeah, some people love that. But I mean, once you pump off that pop processing, did you go ahead and turn it back on?
Yeah. So this is it back on, and you hear the noise went away, and I can it's a little bit more bassy. Now, that's why you've got to test these out. Like some girls may not like this sound, and they don't want that deep. It just depends. It depends on what you're trying to do. So that's all.
Absolutely. I think. I love the fact that you're showing the differentiation between the different microphones, just because that is that's an important question for a lot of podcasters. When I jump into these Facebook groups and they're asking like, what is the best microphone to use for a podcast? Well, as you and I both know, it depends, right? It's going to depend on your voice, your timbre, I don't want to make it sound like it's a gender thing, but whether you're a man or a woman, but that does matter, whether, and your voice, it will matter. And so there's going to be a lot of factors that will play into the microphone that you want to get. So, and it's also going to depend on, how are you going to be recording? Like Jeff and I obviously are recording into Rodecaster Pros. So there is processing going on. If you're going to be recording directly into a digital audio workstation, like say Audition, Audacity, or Pro Tools, you can do processing in there, but that is going to take knowledge. You have to go in and you have to learn those programs.
Right.
Whereas using a Rodecaster Pro, it's just doing it all for you. Oh, did I lose you?
No, I'm going back to my Heil because it's just the old standard. It makes me feel better.
That's your baby.
It's my comfort.
Well, do you have any comments, my friend?
Just people saying preach it. I don't know. I think this came from your channel because I don't know why their names aren't coming through. That's really weird. But yeah, Lauren, we will get sushi. We'll definitely do that. So cool. I'm so glad that you're going. That's awesome. I'll tell Eric after this. So that'll be a lot of fun. So you're up, my friend. What else do you got for us? We've kind of gone through some mics, but keep going.
Yeah, let me address this on my Amazon stream here real quick. Catherine Lang, again, she says, the best mic is the one that works for you and your budget. That is a very true thing. True. So yes. A very true thing. So let's go ahead and keep jumping through. So I want to go through another mic right here. So you may be in the market for maybe a Shure, maybe you're in the market for a Heil. It all depends. Again, let me showcase this one real quick. So I've got the Shure SM58. So this is actually what I originally started on, Jeff. This is what I originally started on before even getting the Blue Yeti. But there was a lot of difficulties in using this because I didn't have the equipment, or I was just trying to figure it out, and I was doing everything from the radio station. So I actually used a Shure SM58. Now these are the microphones that you see that are typically on stage at concerts, at events, whatever it may be, and you can actually use one of these microphones for a podcast. Now, just understand that whatever you're using within your podcast, the capsule is going to be a little bit different. So if we unscrew this and show the capsule, it's going to be a little bit different of a capsule on there. All right. So this windscreen is obviously going to be for more performance, but you can still use it for a podcast. So, some considerations to go through whenever you're buying a microphone. Again, it's just going to come down to your budget, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're asking me, you have the if $100 is, I'm sorry if I can't even say the price, but if this price is only what you can use or what you can get for your podcasting, get this. But you will eventually have to upgrade. I've upgraded.
Right.
I don't know how many times you've upgraded, but I've upgraded. This is like, I think, my 4th upgrade in microphones. So, but this was a really good starter. But you just have to know that you will be needing an XLR cable. And I didn't bring an XLR cable, but you can see them right here. These XLR cables, you need to go ahead and grab one of these XLR cables right here. And just something that you should know when getting one of these microphones is that you probably should be getting a boom arm and a microphone shock mount. So I've got that featured in the carousel down below. There's a shock mount that you can go ahead and grab right there to put these on your microphone stand or whatever it may be. Now, something that you should also be considering whenever you're putting this in a shock mount is that you should be considering, I don't know what you got. I know you got, I think last night when I was watching your live stream, you have a scissor boom arm just like I do. So
right.
I got a scissor boom arm that right here that I'm using. And it actually just, it's clamped to the desk and it does not damage the desk at all. I don't have to drill into it. And so these work just fine for me because I don't want to damage the desk. I've already done that to like 2 desks,
right.
Damage the desk. So this works really great for me. So using these clamps are really good for, good for you and your situation and purpose. So yeah, that's what I've got. So
the question I have on that mic, Shannon, before you put it away.
Yeah.
So you can put a windscreen on that as well. Now, does it come with a windscrreen or what do you like to do for like podcasting? Do you put a windscreen on it because for pops and stuff or not?
It's interesting, Jeff, because I wasn't using a windscreen for many, many years, probably like 20 years. And then when pandemic life happened, they were like, I started using them and I started understanding more the reasons why I liked using a windscreen because of the density of sound that you get from the actual windscreen itself. So you're not getting as many plosives, like when you hear popping P's, or popping T's. You don't get as many plosives that you would normally get if you're just using it without a windscreen. So that would be really helpful if you get a windscreen for this or anything like that. But it's going to be up to you and how you want to utilize the microphone and how you want to use it for your own podcast.
Gotcha. So we got some comments, and I don't know why. So Ian, for some reason I'm not seeing any comments on Amazon Live on my own. So thank you for stopping by, my friend. Appreciate it. But that's weird. And then somebody, once again, I don't know, it says hopping over here to see if you can see my name. And I can't, whoever that is. So anyway, I wonder if that's Jim. Anyway, because, So anyway.
We're not discriminating any of your friends, Jeff.
Yes, you are. I know how it is. Let's see. So we were talking about we did the Shure's, which, by the way, I'm telling you, it's quite a deal, and I've got some more things I'm going to be talking about in a little bit. But you were talking about windscreens. So I have a little windscreen on this one. This is a third-party thing, and this is the shock mount that Heil Sound sells that works for all their microphones. I really don't need this windscreen. I just did it because it looks cool, and it also tells me like how far away to put my face. It kind of keeps me off the mic a little bit because they actually have a lot of Heil products have built-in windscreens. Like I know there's some foam in the fin that I showed you earlier, but there's also a kind of a built-in one here that helps with those plosives, like you were saying as well. So
we use those windscreens like we use those at the radio station actually.
Oh yeah, really?
So for the guest microphones, they have those, and those actually really come in handy. And I mean, I don't want to sound gross or anything like that, but over the years, as we have used those windscreens that you are talking about, we have seen people who they drink their coffee and they'll spit all over the place. Yeah, and you can see that there's actually spit on those windscreens. So they do help out when it comes down to saving the actual microphone itself.
Yeah, that makes sense. So if it's your own microphone, you can have a little leeway. But yeah, I would put something on for a guest.
Yeah.
So Ian says, I was just saying that there's always a lot of wind in my studio. Yeah, there's a lot of wind in here. And
probably double the wind because both you and I are running air conditioners.
Exactly. And then Ian goes, doesn't the pop shield just reduce the pops? That's why he likes it. I think it does, but because Heil already has one in there, is what I'm saying, Ian, is that I think it's better. It helps with the pops more because my face is away from it. because it has that distance. It's a reminder, but it does help a little, I'm sure. But Heil makes so good microphones, you don't have to have a pop filter. So so he says they're not pop filters, they're COVID attractors. So maybe
that
that's
is
it.
True. That is true.
So
so what do you got next?
Okay, so I do a lot of and it's back to Shure, because this is the thing that I was so excited to get, and I really appreciate Shure for providing it for me to review. Is I've been really trying to up my travel kit game. So let me pull this up.
Oh yeah, I want to see your travel kit, because I know this is something that has piqued my interest, actually, because you were always talking about your travel game, and I was like, well, I'm not doing a whole lot of traveling, but someone like you, I do know, goes and travels quite a bit.
So, that's gross. That's why you have a windscreen. I don't know if that came off the floor. The thing about what I'm doing is, like, I don't want to be tied to my desk all the time. Like, you want to go out and go out with the family, but like I have live shows that I do every week, or I have podcast stuff I need to do. And so, I have been doing lives from a hotel, and, that's always, I've been taking some like not wireless, but lavalier mics and everything. But this is the Shure SV88 Plus. It's the video kit. Now, this thing packs up really, really tightly. This is a condenser mic. What happens is your phone goes right in here, and you hold it, and you can have it on selfie mode, or you can flip it around. This mic right here, and then you can have it go like this, and you can actually flip. The software is really, really cool. You can actually, when it's to selfie mode, you can actually flip it so the stereo is in the right spot inside of the software.
That is awesome.
Yeah. Once again, I'm going to pull you up so people can see your awesome face too. Let me pull your face up, just like that.
My sleepy face.
Yes,
just so you guys know, I just woke up an hour ago.
Right. But he does for me. He's such a good guy. So it's got the Manfrotto Pixie kind of tripod at the end where you can actually rotate it around. So you can. This one, it comes with cables for both the iPhone and like Android, because it's got a USB-C connector, and then also has this Lightning connector right here.
That is cool.
The windscreen pops off. You don't have to use it, but it's a really nice windscreen, which we've talked about. But it also, there's a mic here, and it's got mics on the side. It is a condenser mic, so it has to have power. We've been talking about the different kinds of mics, but the stuff we've been talking about before is dynamic. This is condenser, so it can really pull, pick up sound. And the cool thing is, in the software, you can actually direct the let me go and pull my face
like
up,
the stereo sound.
Yeah, so like you can direct the stereo, like you can tighten it up, or you can have it wide, or you can turn on just the front, or you can turn on just the side. So I can set this between us, and we can do a podcast session. It'll pick up you from your side and me from my side. So it's super versatile. But wait, there's more, Shannon.
There's more.
You can actually take this off and plug it into your computer. For me, that was the thing.
That is cool.
So this is the mic I will take now, and I can sit it on this tripod and do my live show and not have to have another wire run into me with a lapel mic. And this sounds freaking amazing. If you go to jeffc.live, there's a review that I've done for this, and you can hear what it sounds like, and it's just pretty amazing. So this, and it comes in this really cool travel kit, and I'll show you really quick how easy it is to pack up. So you take the mic off, unplug it, and here's the other cord, like I was telling you, right there, and you can just stick it right inside. This is why it's so cool. I love like travel things. Your mic can go right here. This is a hot shoe that comes off.
That's super compact.
Yeah. But wait, Shannon, there's more.
There's more.
Then you can take this off. This is the iPhone holder right here.
It's a transformer.
It is. We should make the noise. But, so then all you do is
really cool.
You roll it up in this little kind of camera roll. This latches on here, and then you take your tripod and you stick it through.
Stop it.
Stick it right through there. Kind of got.
Sure thought this through completely.
And so there it is. Your whole kit is just like that. So that is cool. That'll go in like my laptop bag, all sorts of things. So that is one of the coolest things.
This makes me want to travel now.
Yeah, well, I mean, it sounds really. I mean, Shannon, you're going to be impressed with the sound of this, because it's pretty spectacular. Especially for that, I can take it, have it on the tripod, and plug it into my computer and do like a Zoom call or a show, and it's going to be compact, and it's just freaking cool.
Yeah,
So,
like I would that's like you're saying, like just my mind is racing right now, and I'm thinking like, if you are someone who works remotely but you don't want to use your phone, like how
yeah,
you use with your
yeah,
iPhone, and it's got those two different microphones on the iPhone. Like, so
yeah.
if you're behind the iPhone, you can get the sound really great, but then whenever you switch the camera to the other side, you can't hear yourself really that great. That would work really good if you have to go out on the road and you're doing remote work.
Yes, and the thing too, it comes with two like it's free apps. They have QR codes in the software. I mean, in the booklet, which actually gives you an audio version where like you can just go out and do your audio recording or whatever you need to do. They also have a video one, so you take video with it. It's a separate app, and you can dial this stuff in. You can have it set up for live concert if you want to do that. So it's really, really slick. So I've been super impressed with this. By the way, this is 30% off today. This is the last day, folks, to get these things. So make sure you check that out. Put it in your cart. Buy it for later. Talk to your wife. Let her say, I got to have this, honey. But
don't talk to your wife.
No, yeah, just get it. Just get it. Ask for forgiveness later. But it is 30% off today. All the Shure stuff we've talked about today have the sales going on. So make sure you guys check that out and turn these off.
Yeah, that's really cool. I love that you brought that up just because, you're talking about video and all that. Like, these are all things I think that where we're going in that direction with, not just podcasting, but video podcasting and just everything in general, and that is a really cool purchase to get if, if you're someone kind of like an audiophile like we are, you want something like that. I'm glad that you brought that up.
Look, it's smaller than my head.
It is
smaller than a bread basket. My head's pretty big, so that's not a good judge.
No, it's not, my friend. No, it's not. You don't.
What do you got for us next? What do you got next?
Let's. I don't know if you want to move into this direction, but I was just thinking about headphones because I noticed that you have those earphones. So I want to go through a couple of headphones that not only that I have, but I do know that some of my coworkers actually have too. So when I first started out. I had a really crappy pair of headphones. I don't even think they had a brand name on them. But then I upgraded into, and I forgot to bring them. But these are what I use actually over at the radio station. They're in your carousel. I'm not sure if you can see them. They're on my page. I don't know if they're on Jeff's page. But they're the Sony MDR 7506s. I use those actually at work, and so those I'm sorry, those are the ones that I'm using right here. I'm sorry, these are the ones that I'm using. You can see them. I don't even know which one I'm featuring right now. Right, I don't know which one I'm featuring, but I'll show you the other ones that I use at work. But yeah, these are the Sony MDR 7506s. So if we were to backtrack, so these are what I actually I started with a really crappy pair. Then I went to these. Then I went away and went to another pair. I'll show you in a second. But now I use these Sony MDR 7506s at home, here at home, and these are really good headphones to use. They're over the ear. They got a really great sound, real deep sound whenever you're plugging it into whatever you're using. Now they do have the 1/4-inch plug that you're using, so you're not going to be getting anything that's wireless. These plug directly into, say, like my mixing board, and I can hear myself and monitor myself. They are not noise canceling headphones, so just as a heads up, not noise canceling headphones, but they do, I guess you could say they do blunt the outer sound of what's going on. So every now and again, I will have to pull this over and, I will be like, what are you saying? When someone talks to me, and they're really great headphones to use if you're just starting out. Now, the other headphones that I do use, and that I didn't bring them, this is the ones that I didn't bring. These are the ones that I actually use at the radio station. They're on the carousel. They're called the Shure SRH 440s. And like Jeff said, I don't know if these, I can't remember if these are on sale. I don't think these are on sale for Prime Day, but these are just good ones to have anyway. Now, these have a little bit more of a noise canceling sound, the Shure SRH 440s. And those have been great to me ever since. They have a cord. And if I were to kind of illustrate, if these were pretend the SRH 440s, they have a cord that you can disconnect because sometimes the cords wear out and you can buy new cords and put them in so the headphones don't go bad. It's sometimes the cord because a lot of the times you're just moving around, right? And so you can replace the actual cord itself, and that's actually a really cool feature of the Shure SRH 440s. So those are the two headphones that I like to, those are my go-tos. Now, it's going to be up to you, but I know that you've got some headphones that maybe that you like to use.
So I got way too many headphones, and we're going to go through them all because I use them for different things. So whenever I do lives, I have what these are the Me. I can't remember, but they're only like $13 to $15. They're super cheap. Michael Hyatt showed me this, and they go by. They're clear. You can't even tell they're in there, and they wrap around and they plug in. So I don't ever use wireless when I'm doing a live show because I've had them cut out before. I love wireless headphones, but I just don't trust them for live shows or mission critical stuff. So these are just monitors. Because Shure's having these deals, I just bought a pair of the SE 215 Pro wired headphones that I'm going to try instead of these. I always like to have a couple sets like for spares. And so,
that's smart.
And these are they're the same style as they go around. They're clear and they can hook in. When I have these, I don't really listen to music, so music isn't a big deal for me. But I'm starting to play my piano more and do some stuff, and so I wanted to have, if I decided to do some stuff, that I could have them and hear really well. So I did pick up the Shure SE 215s, and those are down below in the carousel, just because I wanted to, I always want to test stuff out too. So
yeah. I think that's an important thing is like, you just got to use you got to use them for whatever your purpose is, so like, when we were talking earlier, we were talking about how we use headphones, and I'm not sure if I have them in my carousel. I'm pretty sure I put them in my carousel, but oh yeah, I did put them in my carousel. Now I know this is, this is something that a lot of people have been questioned on, so as Jeff mentioned, if you're just tuning in right now, Jeff mentioned that he and I both work on Guy Kawasaki's Remarkable People podcast. So there is a lot of, Jeff is doing what he needs to do on his end. We have someone else, we have Peg Fitzpatrick that's working, and she's doing what she needs to do when she's listening to it. And then when it comes to me, by the time it comes to me, I'm editing that podcast with a different application. I don't necessarily edit with these headphones. I actually edit with a pair now of Apple AirPods. So I am using the Apple AirPods for the purposes of editing the podcast specifically, because there's sounds that I can hear, and Jeff can attest to this. I'll message him and I'm like, dude, what is that sound that's going on in the background?
Right.
Can we remove that? So though, these headphones are really great. And if you want to talk about noise canceling headphones, depending on the application, if you want to use, they're really great for music, depending on the application. If you're using them for music, they have 3 modes that are inside of them. In fact, I have them right here.
So you're saying AirPods, you're talking about AirPods Max.
AirPods Max, excuse me. Yeah, AirPods Max. So these are what they are right here. So these are really great headphones. I mean, they're real sleek. And they don't have a whole bunch of buttons on them. I'm not sure if you can even see. In fact, it's trying to connect right now. My iPad's trying to connect to these headphones right now.
Took them out of the case.
Yeah, I took them out of the case. So I'm not sure if you could see. Let me see if I can get it.
They're really comfortable from what I've understood. That they're really.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you can really see that there's a button. It's blurring it out right now. But
I see it.
There's a button right there. And so these have different modes. These headphones have different modes on them because you can set them directly into noise cancellation. And once it goes into noise cancellation, whatever phase is going on in the headphone itself, it drowns everything out, and you can barely hear anything it's like at a mumble. It's like you could barely hear it. So as an example, back in June, the week of my birthday, I took the whole week off just to relax, watch TV, catch up on TV shows. And they just decided that they needed to go ahead and replace all the decks in my condo complex. And so there was a lot of hammering. And I'm like, you got to be kidding. And they were starting at 7 a.m. Well, I'm a night worker, right? And so I put these on to drown out the sound, and it drowned out the sound, I would say probably up to like 90%. It was crazy how much these drown out sound. But I use them for the podcasting, editing. These are really cool headphones to use. These are definitely, you got to consider them, test them out. But my neighbor told me about these, and I was like, I don't want to get those. And so then I was like, well, I'll try them out. If I don't like them, I'll whatever. Yeah, right. I'll do whatever I want with them, right? Got them, still have them. Yeah. Not going to get rid of them.
So
these are really great.
The one thing about, so that's the Max, the AirPods Pro Max.
Max.
I have the AirPods Pro, and one thing that I really, and the reason I'm considering the Maxes is because I really like listening and watching movies with that dynamic, what's it called? Is it dynamic sound? Or the
dynamic sound, or whatever it's called, where you move your head.
And it sounds really good. Even with the AirPods Pro, which I'm not a big earbuds fan most times, but they're incredible. And I can just imagine what it sounds like with the Max. So that's really cool.
so that Tom Hanks movie, what was that? Tom Hanks Greyhound is on
yeah,
Apple.
Yeah.
And I watched it on my iPad, and the iPad was like further away from me, and I was moving my head, and
It's
like
crazy.
it sounded like I was like,
You're in a
sounded like I was
theater.
walking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like being in a theater. It was crazy good.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's no denying how good these headphones are.
Yeah. So I want to go back real quick to
Okay.
just because I want to contrast the most expensive headphones we have in the carousel with the cheapest ones. So, like I said, these are the me. So, you know, if you're like, oh, I can't afford headphones, well, you can with these. These are the ones I said were about. And so I have a pair of these because I actually run over my cable so many times. But here's when he was talking about behind the ears, I wanted to show what that looks like. So it goes around like this. These are moldable. I just wanted to pull these out of the pack so you guys could see what they look like. And plus, there's no way I'm going to show my ear plugs that I use almost every day on camera. You would run away screaming to the hills. But this is what a brand new set looks like, and it's got a clip that you can actually clip onto your collar to keep all the cords, attached behind your back. But most over the behind the ear headphones work this way, and it's got a flexible thing. So I just wanted to let you guys see that after I really want to get the Max too, but. Holy cow.
Yeah, and I'll be straight up. I mean, I'll be straight up. That is a serious consideration purchase.
But if you are a professional, like you said, you edit Guy's show with this that we do every week. Yeah. This is that's an investment, but it's why mechanics spend money on tools. It's
right.
It's why,
I mean, that's the way. When I told my dad about those headphones, he was like, "I'd never buy those headphones." And then I go, "But I use them to edit the podcast, so I can hear every little sound that goes in." He goes, "Oh," he goes, "Well, yeah." And he said he used that example. He goes, "Yeah, if you're a mechanic, you have to buy tools and you need that tool." And I go, "Exactly." So I realize it won't be for everyone, but if you are saying like a podcast, if you're a podcast editor, those really will come in handy for you.
Yeah. So real quick, I want to do, because if you guys are joining us, I want to do some deals of the day so you don't miss them. One of the things
I wish I had a sound effect that said Jeff's deals of the day.
Deal of the day. But wait, there's more. It's actually this, and I know Shannon has one, and I talked about this a little bit yesterday, but so the Apple Watch 7's on sale right now. Once again, it's one of the best prices that you have. And the thing that I do with this is I actually change screens the faces quite a bit, because like I'll put it on Mickey Mouse on the weekend, so I know that I'm not supposed to be working, and I shouldn't be Mickey and Mouse around with my family, but I should do this. But the other thing is this is for podcasting. Like when I drive, I love road trips. I have this special watch face that I've created with this Apple Watch that allows me, when I'm driving, this is just press record. I hit that button, I can take notes. But first of all, I use my Overcast app. I go over here and I pause it, and then I can go back to my watch face and then make a note by hitting just press record. Yeah. And then I can go back to my navigation, and but it's just all right there when I'm driving. I can take notes. I can be proactive with my podcast and pause it and rewind it. I love Overcast for my podcast listening, but having this is cool. But all the health stuff too. I mean, I track my sleep. Shannon and I talk about this. I'm actually, Eric Fishner is one of my partners on there. Like I'll see like Eric has closed his rings, and I'm like, dang it, now I've got to go exercise. So that's handy.
Yeah, we need to be friends. I don't think we're friends on Apple.
You put me to shame. You're like always working out, man. You're like always hiking and stuff. That would hurt my feelings being on that. That's why it's purposely why I don't do that. But by the way, that is on sale today. If you're interested or you've been waiting for an Apple Watch, I want to make sure you guys knew about that because I just saw that come up. So make sure you guys check that out. So.
Absolutely. Do you have any comments at all?
No, I'm just let me see. Ian, nope, he says they look good. But yeah,
I've got no comments here, so let's go ahead. And if you got a comment, you have questions about any of this stuff, you're more than welcome to ask us. I'm broadcasting live over on my Amazon Live. Jeff is on his Amazon Live. This should be going to my YouTube, but I don't know. Like I said, we're still learning a lot about this stuff. So, Jeff, do you want? So we moved a little bit away from the podcasting stuff. Let's with the Apple Watch and headphones. But
we can go back.
But I want to talk to you. I want to talk with you about. We've talked a lot about the microphones and plugging them into interfaces. Mm-hmm. So let's go over the Rodecaster, your Rodecaster, and then like we can kind of go over our I guess, what I've got,
Yeah.
because I got the Rodecaster Pro 2.
Right.
And so I don't know what the significant differences are between the Rodecaster, the original one, and of course the new one that I've got. Now, the new one, you're talking about me using it from the standpoint of someone who has never touched a Rodecaster at all. So
Right.
let's start with you and talking about that.
So I'm gonna switch. This is my mobile cam, and you're gonna curtain. So that's gonna be.
I can't hear you. Oh, there you are.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
There you are. I can hear you now. Yeah.
What did I do? Anyway. So this is gonna show my messy desk. So be prepared. Let me go to this right
That's
here.
how it is everywhere.
Why
Everyone's got a messy desk.
Well, it's not coming up.
know.
Let me go.
See
here.
how messy it is? It's so messy that you can't even see. It's so black. Can't hear you, sir.
Are you back? Am I back?
I'm back now. I'm back.
Okay, well,
You're
we'll
back.
just forget about that. So it's sitting over here. And the thing about the Rodecaster is I don't mess around with it. I get it set up the way I want it, and I leave it alone. And it sits over there. Yeah. The most I've messed with it is this past week because I've been putting all these mics in, and so I could switch between them and show you guys stuff. But most of the time I leave it there and set it up. I hit the button to record, and I hit the button to transfer it to my computer. I've been really struggling with, do I want to buy the Rodecaster Pro just because it's the new thing, or do I really need it? I would say this. If you are just starting out and you can afford, I think it's $100 more or $200 more. I'm not sure exactly, but I would start with the Rodecaster Pro 2. One, because they're not going to do any more updates for the one. I mean, it's if you're just starting out and you find some great deals on them on sale, and you're budget strapped, I would get the Rodecaster because it's a solid piece of equipment. It does everything what I need it to. I don't really need to get the 2, except for it's a smaller footprint and there's some cooler stuff there. I mean, you can dial in some of your effects. Like I have processing on or off, and I think with the Rodecaster 2, you can actually dial that up and down and adjust it even more minutely.
You could dial a lot of the stuff differently within the Rodecaster Pro 2. Pro 2. But I would say if you're going to compare between the Rodecaster Pro original and the 2, is that, coming from a standpoint of someone who's never had the original, I'd probably still say and think that you would be able to use the Rodecaster Pro original the same way that you're using the 2. Now, you do have the smart pads that are on the right-hand side of the actual Rodecaster Pro, and so that you can put your sound effects or whatever you need in there. Now, when it comes to taking calls and whatnot, I do know that there are some settings on the original Rodecaster Pro that you can utilize where there's like something called a mix minus. Do you use that?
Yeah,
or you haven't really played with that, right?
I do.
Go ahead.
Go
ahead and explain. Do you know how to explain that at all?
No,
mix minus.
I'm gonna say like the guy who does a radio station. No, let me just shut up, Shannon. Let me tell him how it is. No.
Oh my God. Okay.
No, you tell him what it is.
Go ahead.
No, you. So I have it set up, but you explain it because I'll just sit here and.
Okay, yeah. So basically, what mix minus is that if I were to explain it in layman's terms, is that whenever you're pumping audio through your interface and you're pumping it all through, your recording software or whether you're recording it on the onboard recording software, when you do like a live stream and someone is being pumped through your computer into your board, you don't want that audio that is coming through your board from the other person. You don't want that being pumped back to them. So which essentially would give them an echo. They would hear like themselves in an echo. And so what happens with the Rodecaster Pro and the Rodecaster Pro 2 is that they have settings within the actual interface itself to where you can cancel out all that noise, and you can have these really great conversations with people without any of the technical difficulties. That seems like a minor thing, but it's actually a very big thing when it comes down to recording quality podcasts. Now, something that I do want to feature within the Rodecaster Pro 2, and it's on the carousel right now with the Rodecaster Pro 2 that I'm using, they have a feature where on the screen itself, it's all updated away from the original Rodecaster Pro, And this is really like a radio station in a box. Now, when you're trying to justify whether or not this should be the purchase for you or not, because it is the brand new thing or not, depending on who you are, like someone who's like me, I want like a radio station that's coming directly out of the box. That's what it's going to be. And so they have these features where the mix minus is already set up. It's pre-set up out of the box. And they have an area where it's a chat function to where basically when you're pumping the audio through, you don't have to worry about the mix minus, because we all know that we're going to have to be using that mix minus and pumping the audio of our guest into our recording itself. It's already set up within the faders. So, Jeff, I'm kind of feeling like I feel like I need to show what that is. So I'm going to move my webcam around a little bit. Okay. So
hopefully we're better than
hang
what I
on.
did.
This is all unscripted, friends. All unscripted.
And I think the Rodecaster Pro 2 has actually a smaller footprint than what my Rodecaster Pro 1 has. Yeah, there it is. Cool.
Yeah, it's kind of blurry. Sorry about that. I don't know. Let me see if I can change this around.
I do like the elevated screen, and I like those illuminated buttons just because I like lighted buttons. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Let me move this to a normal. Okay, you probably should be able to see that clearly.
Yeah,
now, right?
Looks great.
Okay, yeah. So when you're looking at this right now, it's got the screen. I mean, it's probably best whenever you're showing it actually in person. All right. So it looks a lot very similar to the original Rodecaster Pro. You have a button here that would allow you to record directly on board, but you do need to have an SD card that comes with it. Sorry, I'm over here messing with this light, but you do need to have an SD card with this. All right. Now you can see I have the different faders. So it comes with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 faders that you could program any way that you want. And one way that you can tell whether or not this is actually an engaged fader is that on the screen it shows that it is green, so it's engaged. If I were to go ahead and I were to turn off my microphone, it shows that it's disengaged. So that's a really cool feature. That's like a radio station that is there. Okay, so like what I have here in fader 1 is my microphone, but I can program these faders to be anything that I want them to be. So if I want fader 1 to be my microphone and I want my fader 2 to be Jeff, which is what it is, I can do that. But if I wanted to move Jeff from fader 2 to fader 6, I can definitely do that too. So I can move the faders and how I want the setup to be. As you can see right here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have fader number 4. It just shows a plus signal, and that just means that there's no audio that is going through there. So, I don't have anything that's going on in that fader. So that's just something that you should consider whenever it comes down to what's going to work out for you. I think that's depending on the type of podcaster that you are. Like me, I like to be a very I'm a very active podcaster. There are sound effects that come through on the smart pads themselves, so you can see that. So I've got that right there. You can play music beds. I'm not sure if you can hear that music bed.
Yeah, we can hear it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's these smart pads that you can utilize. Now, I don't know if it will work on this right now because I was having problems with it, but you can change your voice.
Oh yeah, I can hear it.
Can you hear that?
Yeah.
So you could change your voice, or
I could say
This is like the junior high stuff right here. This is awesome.
Yeah, Jeffrey is my favorite person ever. So these are all really cool.
These are all really cool features. If you're trying to create maybe a podcast where you don't want to have I don't know, say cussing a lot. There's censor button, so you can do a lot of cool things with this mixing board. Up here are all your headphone levels, so that whenever you can actually plug headphones into the back of the unit itself. And then this knob right here, this really allows you to adjust the settings. I mean, you can go in and do a million settings within the actual feature. The screen is touch screen, and then of course you can adjust like what you want that to be. So if I wanted this to be USB 2, I can come back, say yes. It has assigned the actual physical fader, and then I go, okay, I'm going to come back, and now you can see this channel 4 is actually now USB 2.
Okay.
So there are really cool features that you can do with this. Now, I will admit that it is still taking me some time to get used to using this actual mixing board. but it has been worth it for me. Just know they are doing a lot of firmware updates, and and that's the best thing about these types of products, is that they're always improving it. And I'm sure you noticed with the Rodecaster Pro, they always improve with firmware updates. So that is, if they see a hole or they see something that's wrong with the actual mixing board or how it's being used for, say, live streaming, video game playing, podcasting, they will fix it. And I think that is what is very cool about this. You can do the firmware updates wirelessly. You can plug an Ethernet cable into the back of it. This is just a really great board to use whenever you're talking about doing podcasting.
So real quick, Shannon, I want to keep it up there. I know your arm's getting tired, but you can.
No, that's fine, man.
So the couple of things that I see that are different. For one, I like those two buttons at the very, very bottom of your smart buttons there, where you were changing between them. You're like turning pages. It looked like.
Yeah. You can change pages. So this has 8 banks.
That's cool. That's really cool.
I think so it's got little banks. So like I've got different banks here that we can use. So I've got you can change voice effects. You can create voice effects in here. Now, that's a really cool feature. I think if you're someone who's doing production and you're recording for, like, say, I don't know, you're just creating like sounders and sweepers and imagers for a podcast, the FX feature, you could program those into your smart pads as well. Then you could put in, like I said, music beds. You could put like different sound effects. Those are all really cool. Like for me, I've got like my podcast opener in here, so you can hear like I have my openers here.
When you're one unbalanced piece of audio from,
so you can hear a lot of those things that come through on that, and you can program it to how you want. So like say the green button is my opener, so I know that when I'm going to start my podcast, I hit the opener, and then if I want to jump into the next segment, I can jump into the next segment. And
oh, that's really cool. Yeah,
so you're playing everything, and then as I'm coming out of like say, a music bed, I'm playing a music bed, I can say like, oh yeah, we're talking with Jeff Sieh. He's going to come back and talk to us about the latest Instagram updates. So stay tuned. You're listening to The Podcast Therapist.
The Podcast Therapist.
And so,
That's
you
cool.
can you can do a lot of cool things with this. It's like a radio station out of a box, at least for my purposes.
So one of the things too that I think are the difference, they have on the back, instead of just straight XLRs, like mine has 4 XLR inputs. Those are multifunction inputs on the back. So you could do like your small plug for a different kind of. The one thing I know you cannot use a USB mic on this soundboard, correct?
No, you cannot use USB mics on this. No.
Yeah, and so it looks like it has the same amount of connections in the back as mine.
Here,
and
I'll go around the back. Here, I'll go around the back.
Well,
so
you don't have to.
All...
Yeah, but I think that. Well, I'm gonna throw up.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
I'm coming around. Sorry. All right, here we go.
Yeah, so I think the connections in the back. So there's where you plug in your like if you took it to an interview, which it is a smaller footprint, I believe, and then you have those multi jacks instead of just a regular XLR jack, which is very, very cool that you can plug in different things. Like I'm assuming you can plug in like a keyboard or all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, you can. Here, I'll move this microphone back over towards me real quick. So yeah, you can plug in actually normal XLRs, but if you're a musician, if you notice, there's like. It looks like you could plug in like almost like a 1/4 inch in there, from your guitar. You can actually plug into that as well.
That is really cool.
That's a really cool feature. Now, as I mentioned, though, you are going to need, if you're going to record a podcast, you're going to need to get a micro SD card. I don't have that featured on a carousel, but the micro SD card is going to go right here.
But you could record to your computer, right? Couldn't you technically?
If you can record directly to your computer. So this is all USB-C.
Right.
So the power that goes into the actual Rodecaster Pro, this is USB-C to power, right? Then here you have USB-C to basically, if you're using a PC, it would be USB-C to probably USB, I would assume. Here, I'm using a MacBook Pro. This would be USB-C to USB-C. So I bought a longer cord. I bought a 15-foot cord, and I put that in there. So it's in the carousel. You'll be able to see it. It's not featured right now, but you'll be able to see there's a 15-foot cord there. And so this would be for the sound that's going into the computer, but you can also plug in a secondary computer if you wanted here.
That's cool.
To have other sounds, or maybe someone who's doing the podcast with you, you could do secondary sounds and they can put their own sound effects or different audio. Maybe you're featuring audio from a sports program that you wanted to go ahead and talk about. you can put that in here too. Now, that is some of the cool features that you have with the Rodecaster Pro 2. It also allows you to connect your phone Bluetooth. I think the original does that, doesn't it, Jeff?
Yeah, it does. It does. I think some of the problem. I'm going to go back to the screen so you can move around if you want to, or do you want to?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So
thank you.
I think one of the things that with the Rodecaster 2 is being able to take it and being able to plug in some computers. I think it'd be a nice little kit. We're talking about traveling kit stuff earlier. Is taking that with you. Let's say Podcast Movement, which I'm going to be there, and Jim's going to be there, and some other people. But doing some podcasts with the Rodecaster, you could pack it in your suitcase.
And Shannon should be there.
Yeah, Shannon should be there. So I just think. So if you were going to get a board from scratch, definitely save the money. Get the 2 is what I would say. If you're really on a tight budget and you see the Rodecasters on sale, the first model, the first edition, it's a solid soundboard. It just is.
Either one would work. Yeah, I would think either one would work. The new version is going to have the new little features to it, right?
And it'll last longer. They're going to be putting out updates, and they'll continue to update it until the next model or whatever. So.
Right. So, I mean, just kind of think and consider what your budget will be. If you're someone who wants to go all out, go all out. But if you don't want to go all out, that's go the model before. Dorian J asked, what's the price of the Rode mixer? So it should be in the carousel, whatever the price is on the carousel. It should be featured on my carousel right there. So
I'm trying.
Can you see it, Jeff?
So I know the actual Pro 2 is, I think, 700. Yeah. So the first one is the model that I'm using. The Rodecaster Pro 1 is 488. The new one is 709 is what I'm pulling up right now.
Yeah.
So I would
709.
Just because they have said they're not going to be doing any more firmware updates to the older version. They're going to be focusing on this one. If you can, get the newer version. If you can't, once again, solid piece of gear. You might be able to get them on discounts as people are trying to change over their stock. So if you're a budget-minded podcaster and you don't need some of that stuff, you're not going to be a musician and plug it in that way. You just need maybe just just a place where you can plug in and have some really good adjustments, have some really great effects. I mean, because I'm doing processing for my mic through there. I think it sounds good. But you won't have the voice changing stuff. You won't have that. If that's important to you, you need to save for the 2. But either one, they make really great gear. So, yeah. Thanks for sharing that. That was really cool. I know. Now I'm going to have to go get one. I have that same sound effect, so I have that one. Yeah. So Jim was saying, he goes, same year. This is Jim. He said he started with the Rodecaster Pro 2. So it's a great one to upgrade to. If you've been doing a podcast for a while and you want to do some of these things, like I was really impressed, and we need to probably have Shannon show us how he's doing all this at a different show, how he was just tapping on the boards and mixing it all there, because that saves you time in post when you don't have to.
Yeah, that would be like, I mean, I could do a real quick sample podcast with you on that if you wanted to, but I mean, it's just a really great way of doing it. You have to do practice. So you have to practice at it. There's just like anything else, you got to practice at it. And so I'm still getting used to using it because the functions that I use in my professional day job at the radio station, there are a lot more screens. A lot of things are more, touch screen. This is more tactile, right? You're actually using it. Right. It's something that's actually tangible that is there that you can actually get your hands on and feel everything that is going on within the Rodecaster Pro 2. So, and with the Rodecaster Pro as well. I mean, you just got to get used to it. So, I'm happy to jump onto another live stream with you and show you how I do that. So
I want to move a little bit to some of the things that, we're talking about podcasting. Video podcasting is a big thing now because people are wanting to go and taking it because you can get discovered on YouTube. There's, Spotify and Apple, and YouTube has actually come out with trainings on how to get your podcast discovered on their platform. So a lot of podcasters are working at trying to get video to their doing it live or doing it live to tape where they can take it and put it to YouTube. So I'm going to go over a couple of things because I know that they're on sale today.
I love that you're bringing this up. I love it.
That I think is important for us to talk about, and some tools that I wish, like right now I just highlighted the Elgato key light, and the key light is what I'm actually illuminating the whole set width. You can change the warmth and the how bright it is right from your desk, and they're soft boxes, and you can control them with like your phone. You control it with the desktop app, and I control them also through my Stream Deck. Like I can turn them off right here. I'll just turn them off really quick. And they're
Wait, so you're doing that from your computer?
Yeah, you can do it from your computer or your Stream Deck. And I just turned it off.
Wow.
And there it is. It's come back. And you can adjust that. You can actually do not just on and off. You can change the temp. You can turn it brighter or whatever. I like having a place where I can sit and not have to, mess with things. The key light now, the ones I have are the more expensive version that actually clamp to my desk, because mine's a standing desk, and when I stand, everything goes up with me. And so I can just...
Me too.
So it's cool that, I don't have to adjust lights or whatever. I really like the clamp version. But right now for $99, they have their Key Light Airs, which have a base to them. So if you've got the desk space or you're wanting to save some money, the Key Light Airs are on sale today for Prime Day. So make sure to check that out. I've highlighted those in the bottom of the carousel. Also, on that note, because they do tie in, Elgato, makes the key lights. They also make the Stream Deck. The Stream Deck is also on sale today, and I'm going to go to... That's what I've been changing the screens with.
Yeah, and I want to hear more about this Stream Deck, because
I've got two.
I was doing some research on it, and I thought to myself, this is a really cool thing that you can utilize to switch things over, because you don't have to be using a mouse. And so I started doing research, and I think you got this up there on your storefront.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is a really, really cool piece of equipment. So explain to me what this does.
So I couldn't do the show without it. You saw me, like I popped up, I'm using Ecamm software to do this. In fact, I'll just because I have this all built in, I can actually turn all this off, and I can bring up my friends Ecamm if you want to find out more. They're actually just having a sale right now today. If you go to jeffc.com/ecamm, they having a 30% off if you're a new user for this month. The code is July 30. So if you want to try out Ecamm, you can do that by going to jeffc.com/ecamm and put in that code July 30. But see, I'm doing that all through here. I can pop up everything, and I have two. Now, I started with this one, and I actually got this on a Prime Day years ago. And all of this is customizable. And this is kind of what I have standard. I just kind of have where I have my key lights where I can turn those up and on and off. And then this is the brightness. And all of these are customizable. In fact, when I turn off my computer, it goes to my logo inside of this whole box. So it's kind of cool.
That's awesome.
And this is what I program, and the way I program it. And the other cool thing is with the Stream Deck software, you can actually change between shows. Since I do multiple shows and produce for multiple things, and you can do sound effects. If you have a podcast, you can use this as well, just like you could do with the smart buttons over on the Rodecaster. But if the Stream Deck here, so I'm going to show you. I'm going to switch to my show, and the software lets you can switch between one or both or at the same time. So I'm going to go to my Social Media News live show, and you'll see it's going to populate all with my buttons. And the thing is that they actually are the camera. The Ecamm.
Awesome.
The Ecamm software plugs right into this, and it actually shows me the camera angles. So like I had Ross on for my show, Ross Brand, and you can see at the very top where it says guest overlay is his camera. And so it's really nice when you're starting to learn this to like, oh, that's that shot. And you can change the icons, you can do whatever. The way I lay out my show is I always have my camera angles at the top, and then like I have my guest camera, and then down from there I have like the URLs of their lower thirds. It says like Shannon Hernandez and where he's from and all that stuff. And then I have my segments along the bottom. So I have like opening title, segment 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it'll bring up those. And then over here are my URLs like for my sponsors or whatever. The other cool thing is you can actually assign two of these buttons to switch screens. So you could have, like if you didn't have enough buttons, even on this small one, you could hit a button and go to the next screen, and you could have control over there. I like to have everything all at once, so I don't have to think of it because I'm usually producing and talking at the same time.
Right.
So I have the big ones. But these are both like right now, it's 10% off for the Stream Deck XL. That's this one right here. And then the small one is 33% off right now in the carousel. So This is where I got them on Prime Day. So very, very cool.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good deal. I mean, considering.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't do my show without it. Yeah.
Yeah, and not everyone has to get everything, right? But I mean,
they do for me. Get everything in the carousel. That would be great. So.
Right. I mean, yeah, get everything.
Yeah. Everything from Shannon Minds both.
You think about it. You go not.
Where'd I go?
I'm sorry about that.
Did I go away? Oh, I switched to the wrong. I'm in the wrong show. That's the other thing. You need to switch it over.
Yeah, look at that. So we got guest number 2 that is here.
Yes. Sorry, hit the wrong button. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
There it is.
Are we still on the same? I still see guest number 2 for your other show.
Yeah, just a minute. There we go. Is that better?
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good example, though. I mean, of showing how you can switch between the different shows and showing hey, I can have multiple shows loaded up, and if you're doing podcasting with video podcasting with someone, you can just pull that up as opposed to like recreating it in Ecamm, right? And so even though you can save a lot of that stuff in Ecamm, but you don't have to keep on recreating it because that can be the headache.
Yeah, and you can see what I just happened to be. I just started pressing buttons in a panic, and you never want to do that because that just screws up everything. But it's very, very powerful, and I mean, it's just a great. Like I said, I couldn't run the show, but you can't. I mean, some guys actually use this to edit their software with. I mean, like they'll put it in Premiere and that kind of thing, and they can do stuff like that. But I am going to talk about another piece of software that a piece of hardware that I think you would like as an editor if you're ready.
Let's talk about it. I'm all for it.
All right, so I'm going to switch over to
time to pull it up real quick.
Yeah, let me see if I can get my camera working. Why did it go away? Did I unplug it? Something? Huh. Okay.
Oh, that's a question I want to ask you before we jump into it, Jeff. So, with all this equipment that we have set up, like, for me, like I'm running off a MacBook Pro, right?
Right.
And so, when it comes down to like how you're connecting all this stuff, like I don't think you have it in the carousel, but it's just as a heads up. How are you able to connect a lot of these things? Because I know they have to be either connected by USB or USB-C.
Yeah. So I have it set up so it's actually I have it like going to a big hub. So I have most of those going to a hub is what I do. I have a 18-port hub back there that goes into my computer.
Okay.
And so I usually connect my camera and my sound directly to the computer. But for
I lost your sound. There you are.
Is it back? What's going on?
See,
that's what happens when I hit too many buttons. So, but the thing that I do is I have the stuff that's really important, like my camera and other things, directly to my computer, and then everything else goes in that hub. It's like the switching stuff. And so, if you can plug it directly in your computer, do it. And I'm looking for the new Apple stuff to have more connection. But this is the thing. I think I got it working. I'm gonna go here. This is the thing that has changed my world for editing. This is called the Loop Deck, and what it does is this is actually a scroll wheel right here. So like when you're scrubbing through in like Audition.
Oh, the scrubs.
Yeah, you can do like this. All these things here are actually hardware buttons, and you can actually press them, and you can assign stuff to them. The thing is it actually changes based on your editing software, and I'm not going to change anything right now because you saw what happened earlier. But like the center of this clock changes to like the pause and start button. I can actually swipe it over and do color correction in Adobe Premiere. I love these buttons here on the side because I can zoom into my. You know how in Audition you want to zoom into a waveform really quickly. I can just go zoop and it zooms in, and I can hit a cut with these buttons up here because all these change based on the software I'm in. So there's already presets for all the Adobe products, Final Cut Pro. You can make your own and assign them. This thing, it's an investment, but it really, really is amazing. And it's got some tactical feedback. But like when you're color editing, you have a color wheel that you can just drag your finger towards, and it'll make it warmer or cooler or oranger or whatever, And I'm just learning this, but it's amazing.
So what you're telling me is that, especially with like Adobe products, this is really great. Yeah. I could use that with Adobe Audition and Scrub.
Yes, and Photoshop and anything. And so you can get scrub wheels. I mean, you can get those, but what it does is like I have all my cut buttons up here. I can adjust the different tracks without going to my keyboard shortcuts. It just makes it. There is a learning curve because you're learning new muscle memory. but just these tactile stuff where you can dial in, like even it works for Lightroom if you're a photographer, where you can just dial in like those little bitty, nuances you want to do for
as opposed
filters.
to using the mouse. Yeah.
Yes. It's incredible. They do sell a version for like live streamers where this is gone. It's just the top with the buttons that change. And so like you can swipe through, like it swiped to my calculator and I can swipe over here and it goes to different things. So you have all this control. You can swipe up there for different on the sides as well. So it's got swipe, it's got tactile feedback. I mean, it's just a really nice piece of kit. And I'm still learning it. But if you are a video editor or an audio editor, especially for podcast stuff, like inside of Audition, this is just so nice. So
I got a question, and maybe because you're still learning it, you don't know yet. But so what are the buttons above the say the little right in the middle? There's like right in the middle of the console.
Those are different function buttons. You can change those to whatever you want it to be. A lot of times it'll go back. You can switch it to go back. Some of this I can go to different tracks. Like I can assign, like if you have multi-track in Audition, you can go to track 2. Boom. It's whatever you want it to do. They have the presets that you kind of learn, and that's what I'm doing. Like you can't see it, but that's like a trash button. You can trash. This is like return. I mean, there's all sorts of cool things. Right now, it's going just to my home screen. Like I've got Siri. I could just hit that and talk to Siri. I could do the calculator right here, and it would pull it up on my screen. I could type it. So it's just really, there's so many cool things with this. And
that's nice. Really now can you use that now as from the perspective of like say recording? Can you actually can you press a button on there to where it adds a marker in audio?
Oh yeah, easy.
That is awesome.
And but this scroll wheel is just so nice, and you can change it so you can swipe across this as well. I don't think this. Oh, see, it goes to the mouse pad, and so it can actually move my mouse around. Right now on my screen, it's moving my mouse, but that's just the basic stuff. But like when you're in Adobe products where you can do these things, it's just being able to swipe over and go frame by frame is just really amazing. So it is an investment, but I tell you, it's one of the best ones I made. For like you were talking about tools before, that's really, really cool. The one thing I do want to talk about when we're talking, because I really like audio tactical stuff, because now we're getting all digital, and you remember the day when you had you got them on your Rodecaster, but you'd have sliders and dials and things that you could touch. If that one is too much past your budget, I did find a Prime Day special. It's and I really looked at this when I first was going to do it. It's called the Neo. It's in my carousel. But it's almost like a gaming controller, but you can use it in the same programs. Like it's got your scroll wheel. It's got your
it's it's upgraded turbo or turbo.
TourBox. It's the TourBox Neo. It's the TourBox Neo, and it has the same kind of thing. It's the tactical stuff. It doesn't have the screens and the buttons, but if you want like buttons to dial and a scrub wheel and stuff like that, that is on sale today, and it's the best price I've seen in a long time because I looked at that really close for a while. So
yeah, man, look at that, 31% off from $229. Wow.
Yeah. So
wow, that's really awesome. I got to tell you this though, Jeff. So Dorian J is in my stream, and he says he was looking at your setup, and he says that it's really cool that you have a mini control room in your office.
Yeah, that's what it's like. My dad likes to come in here and look. He's like, because he doesn't understand any of these buttons, but they're all lit up, and he loves it. I mean, he likes it. It's like he was geeking out because the power went out one day, and I just took my Stream Deck, my big one, over to his house and plugged it in my computer and did a live show from there. And he's like, "Oh my gosh!" Because it's a television studio with Ecamm and these the hardware to switch. I mean, I would have killed for this when I first started out. I mean, it's just nuts.
A lot of this equipment has really changed the game as far as content creators are concerned, because we, even me being in the broadcast industry, a lot of this stuff has changed the landscape of how we do things in radio. Mm-hmm. So we are now having to adjust to this, right? We're having to adjust a lot of this stuff. And so this is a lot of stuff that you can get at a radio station and a TV station, and it's going to cost thousands of dollars, right?
Right.
But I mean, from my perspective as like someone who's in radio, I mean, I'm only using probably about maybe 40%, 30% of that stuff to its capacity, what it can actually do, right? With this equipment, you can actually do pretty much similar things, right? It doesn't have the major firepower that like a professional TV station would have, but it's going to do the job just as well. Like when I watch your Friday show, Social Media News Live, when I watch that, I think to myself, how the hell is he doing all that? Like,
it's all with
and
the
then
Stream
now
Deck
here-
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's all the streamed. And as we go in and we start talking about like video podcasting, like this is where it's going. YouTube is jumping into the podcasting game. They recognize it. They see it. They see Spotify is now doing it. You know, Apple's now starting to really get back into it. And so this is stuff that's going to end up being the future. This is what it is. I mean, Jeff just happens to be like way ahead of the game.
Oh, I'm just a nerd. They won't let me out of the house. That's why I have to. And see, Amazon ships to my I mean, that was the biggest thing when Amazon came, when I could get it to my little town, all the cool toys. That was game over. Game over.
Yeah.
So let's talk about, because we're talking about video podcasting, and because it's such on the rise, so many people are doing it. YouTube is like, I think, the third biggest discovery plates for new podcasts.
Which blows my mind. Yeah.
Who would have thunk? But what camera are you using right now? Because you don't have to really go crazy to do the camera stuff. So talk about what camera you're using.
So I'm actually using my iPhone, believe it or not.
Yeah.
So I've got the iPhone 13. And so it allows you to use that as a webcam. So, so I mean, this is not part of Amazon Prime deal, but you have to get some software to go with it. I got one called Camo Studio Pro, and you probably saw earlier that I was using, it was blurred out in the background. So that software will allow me to blur everything out, so you can see where it blurs it out now. And so if you're looking for that depth of field that you can do, that's what it is. Now, you don't have to go crazy wild and say, I got to get an iPhone 13 to do that. I actually, for many years, I was using like a Logitech C9 or a Logitech 720 or something like that. But then I upgraded to a Logitech C920. And so that's what I ended up using. In fact, do I have that here? No, I didn't bring that with me. So I used the Logitech C920 for many years. And that's still a great webcam to use. It's an upgrade away from my MacBook Pro, because I have I have the version of MacBook Pro that did not have the high HD camera. So I've got the one that's got the really crappy camera. So going with the Logitech C920 was something that I was like, I need to have something that's a little bit more functional, looks a little more clear. If I'm going to do live, because I've done live streams with you over the years, and I'm like, I can't look like complete
garbage.
Terrible. I can't look terrible. I can't look like garbage. I mean, here I see you and you're doing all these great things. And you're like, I'm using this webcam, or I'm using a camera, or whatever it may be. So you don't have to go crazy. What do you got? What do you use?
For this main camera, it's the Canon M50, and it's the first version, and it works really well. I have a small lens on it that gives me kind of a little bit of blur in the back, because I don't have a lot of reach in my office. So it's kind of farther away. But to be honest, that when I was doing when I do these shots, and these are what I do for a lot of my product videos, when I do the hand shot or whatever, that's my phone mounted on a Elgato arm that I plug in, and I use a software. It's called Shoot, and it lets me have a clean out. And it's the iPhone 12. It's the one I use every day. And so
wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. So I'm just using this for my I'm using that for my screen, because I didn't have another camera for that one mobile camera that I don't know why it's not working. It's not coming through.
That's just how cluttered your desk is, right?
It's like
so
we're
cluttered.
done. Stop it. But I use the I used the Brio, the Logitech Brio, for years before I got the M50. I mean, for years I used that, and that's what I have for my handheld cam when I want to show something, which I can't do for some reason. I probably unplugged something accidentally, but I use that one for a lot of stuff. And that, even for a main camera, the Brio is still really, really nice. I think Eric Fisher uses one. Let's see. Somebody said, I think it's Jim. He goes, I also like the Logitech Stream Cam, since you can do vertical video from your desktop that way. That's really a good idea. You can do that in Ecamm as well. I can do that in Ecamm. So
let's see. I also like the Logitech Stream Cam, since you. Okay. I like that.
So
okay,
so I mean, you don't have to overthink it on a camera. You don't have to spend gazillions of dollars. People will forgive bad video; they will not forgive bad audio. And we've today given you some great deals and tips on mic. So if I had a limited budget, I would lean more on getting the best audio, and upgrade your camera as you can, because that's going to change. You're going to get better cameras. Audio mics, just there's ones that people go to garage sales and try to find these old microphones because they love the sound of them. And so microphones have a lot of longevity. So I would use most of your budget, if it were me, on your mic. So is that what you would say?
Yeah,
Jim?
I mean, if you're trying to get into podcasting, just the podcast audio part, go with the microphone. At least start with the microphone. Get the thing. I don't know. I mean, the philosophies are going to be a little bit different. You know, you're going to say like, get the microphone that is going to fit your budget. But if you're someone who's like, well, I don't mind the budget, I can expend a little bit more on, say, a Heil PR40.
Right.
Go with a Heil PR40. Or if you say, I want to get a Shure SM7B, go with a Shure SM7B. But if you're like, I can't do that, and you want to go something a little bit more affordable so you can grow into it, do that. A question real quick. It's not necessarily about mics, but Dorian actually asked a question about your overhead camera and wants to know how far overhead is the phone on your desk? How far is it?
I'm touching it right here. So it's just out of the shot, Dorian, and so it's right up here. Actually, I filmed some videos and I hadn't got it tightened right, and then I go back and look at my editing, and it's like it has
hanging over.
Yes, I'm like, dang it! So I had to zoom in on that section, but it's right up here, and it just does, like you've seen it. It does a great job with, you know, and the cool thing about the iPhone is it does that autofocus so well. So like when I can hold up, like when I want to say, hey, this is the end of the camera. See, it focuses on that. I can show you the tips of the thing and talk about it. And so that's what I like about having the iPhone for an overhead cam. You can do, if you have an SLR or a Logitech, you could do that same thing, but I just like the quick focus, being able to do that with above there. I highlighted down below, Dorian, in mine at jeffc.live, is I use the Elgato Master Mount because of I can log it on my desk, and so like I said, I go up and down and everything comes with me. And then I have the multi-flex arm that I have that brings it over and attaches to my camera. So it's right up there. And I can swing it out of the way if I need to, but I have to keep it out of the shot is the thing. But it works really good. So I really like the setup.
I think you're the one that's actually going to turn me on the Elgato arm, because that was something that I was looking at when I was thinking of getting an overhead arm. I was looking at different ones, and you can get a gooseneck, but I don't like the fact that the gooseneck is just, you can touch it and it's just going to end up falling down, right?
I had one of those too. So somebody said, I use the Ring Cube Camo with my overhead on my iPhone, and I can zoom in and out with my desktop camo app. Ooh, that's a great idea. I didn't think about that. I use Ecamm.
Could you put that comment back up?
Yeah.
I wasn't even looking at it. I use a Ring Cube with my overhead.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't. Yeah, that's a really brilliant idea.
So the thing that I do, because inside of Ecamm, I got to go to this camera, because the iPhone has such a great camera on it, it actually is too wide when I zoom all the way out, and so I have to crop it in. I'm not going to mess with it because I will screw something up trying to do this. So you can actually control it inside of Ecamm. Like I can zoom in because I have a little tighter on my hands than what it looks on the iPhone. But that's I love being able to control that. Anything you can control from your desktop.
In fact, I can do that real quick with camo if I show you right now.
Yeah.
If you're on my screen, let me see if I can actually do a quick zoom on this real quick.
They use it in Ecamm with that feature. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
So you can do zooms, you can do focuses. Let's see here. Maybe I should play with the software a little more and understand what's going on. But I know
you're going to run into what I do
before in the past.
Yeah,
I've always done it before. Oh, here we go. So like here,
so I want to talk about another thing. And these are on sale because Michelle was telling us yesterday about them. And it's this boom arms. So we've been talking about boom arms. Here's another brand, and listen. You hear that? It
sounds like you're walking in to kill someone.
I know. This makes no noise, and if you take this off, it's not going to smack you in the face because of the springs.
Yeah.
You could use this as an overhead cam, very, very easy. But these are on sale, and Heil doesn't put things on sale very often. But this is my new favorite thing because I can run wires up through this track here. And you can hide them, and it is really, really cool. So
by comparison,
it stays there. Yeah, it's just
by comparison, if you notice, like if you're looking at Jeff's and you look at mine, mine is actually in the carousel, but it's not, it doesn't have those, but it's still good. It still has, mine has straps though that you can tie to it. So if you're going to get, something, make sure that you're getting something that works for you. This one works for me. It doesn't make noise like Jeff's, but it, but it still works.
But
yeah, but I mean, it still works.
And the cool thing is Heil sells some mounts where you can actually have it put it on your desk, and you can lift it off and put another one in, so you could actually switch. That's what Michelle was telling me they do, is they actually take it off and switch out mics that way. They leave it on the boom
that's
and
really
take
cool.
it off. So anyway, so that is on sale. It is $115 right now, which is cheap for a Heil. And this is the one I'm going to use from now on, because it works good. So.
Well, now I've got to get them now.
Yeah,
I've got to get one.
You've got to get one. I know somebody I can talk to, by the way, that might help with that.
Yeah, talk to that person and have her give me one.
Yes.
Oh, in fact, I got it on my carousel right there. The Heil sound boom arm that is right there that you can go ahead and check out.
I think it's their only one they have. Yeah. So as we wrap up, man, we've gone for such a long time. I want to dive in more to headphones, especially because they've got deals. I'm all about the deals, but wait, there's more. Because I have a ton of them. And thank you. So I want to, you talked about ones that you use all the time, and I know my pal Ian's here, and this is what I started with. I'm going to go back to my overhead. These are the ones I wear. I take with me.
I wanted to see these.
These are like 4 years old. These are the Quiet Comfort 35s. They're the Quiet Comfort 2s, 35, whatever. I still think, and we can have a debate about this, Shannon, but I think that
are we gonna fight?
Probably. I think Bose has the best noise cancellation out there. And now I know there's Sony people who say that, but I really like Bose for a long time. And the other thing is they're on sale. In fact, these are the 35s, which I have highlighted in the carousel right now. These, like I said, 4 years old. They're a little worn, like the logo and stuff. I've had to replace the ear pads because they were like falling apart. But they're super easy to replace, and they're not that expensive, and it just extends the life of everything. So these are the 35. I love these. They're super comfortable. But today, they have the 45s, which they're the Quiet Comfort 2 45s, which I think have a little better sound cancellation technology because they've upgraded that, but the same comfort and everything that you see people on the planes with them all the time. So
that's the deal of the day, right? That's the one that's the deal of the day.
Yeah. So Bose is having some specials on right now about this, so you need to check these out. So these are the comfort ones, and these are the ones I have in my. This is what I actually edit Guy's podcast on a lot. Are these? Because I just like the way they sound. They're really, really cool. Those are they're wireless. Those are the ones I use. I also, sorry, don't let my wife see this stream.
Do your
my
thing,
wife
man.
see this stream, it'll be bad. So these are, and I got these because I thought, they got to be better. I like these. These are what I like to make calls on. These are their kind of flagship. These are the 700s. They're the Bose 700s, and it's got touch controls, like you raise the volume by just swiping up the side, and just tapping it, which is cool. I think these probably have the best sound canceling technology in them. I honestly, I don't think they're as comfortable as the Quiet Comfort 3s. They're fine. These are the ones I leave in my office when I need to do something. Or if I know I'm going to be on a call, I'll put these on because they can't tell that I'm on a call, and it's really clear call quality, and I can get up and walk around. And so I like these for my office. There's nothing wrong with them. You might like them better. I would try them both and see. Everybody's head's different. And so
I was just going to say that it's different. I mean, I bought a different pair of headphones a while back, and that was the reason why I went to my Apple AirPods Max, is because they just didn't fit my head right, and I didn't like the way they felt on my ear. It wasn't the sound. The sound was great. It was just a matter of like the fit. It's like putting on a pair. It's like getting shoes. Really, it's like you got to find the right fit that's going to work for you, and try to combine it with the sound that you want. Right. So you want to be able to get that type of comfort within the headphones that you're getting.
So these are like my go-to over-ear wireless headsets. Like, I love the Bose line, as you can tell. Yeah. So I like these.
No, I think that's great. Yeah.
But I'll tell you this. So, and I've never been a fan of over ear. I always like the over ear, not on ear. And so
Right.
these are, and I was like, Michelle sent me these from Heil Sound, and I was like, I thought when I first saw them, I thought, oh, they're over ear, and they're not. They're on ear, and I'm like, I don't know.
Those
I
are
like
old
these.
school. They look old school.
They're super light. They do go on the ear, but they're so comfortable. And I never thought I would say that about on-ear headphones. I can't. Sometimes I did some editing with this, and I forgot they were on there. They've also got this phase shifting, and Michelle was explaining it yesterday, and I need to go back and listen because I still don't understand it. But whatever it does, I can flip it over, and it changes the low end a little bit. It takes them out of sync, and it kind of gives my ears a break. Maybe you know more about that than I do and how that works. Shannon,
I'd have to play with those. She told me the same thing when I had spoken with her at one point, and she says, "Yeah, we got those headphones."
Yeah. So the cool thing about these are plugins. These are like you plug them into your soundboard or into your computer or whatever. Heil sends you 3 different types of cables. That you get the long kind of braided ones here, and they snap in and out. You just pull them out and they kind of twist lock in. They sent you that one, and it comes with an adapter for your there it is, for your jacks in the back, like you showed, kind of the multi-jack thing in the back. So that was and 2 more cables that are straight and long for your phone or whatever. So props to Heil for doing that for those headphones. Let's see, and then my old standbys, and I don't have these are plugged in as well, but these are the Audio-Technica ATH M50s. And I think you told me about these. And I've also replaced the pads on these. These were kind of my standard headphones for editing stuff because they plug in. I just took the cord out so it's easier.
Right.
But these are really great sounding headphones too. So it's like, what fits your budget? What fits your head? The best. What are you looking for? There's tons of great options. There's tons of great deals today. So, check these out.
I kind of feel like people need to go to your house just to get these headphones.
No, don't.
So many of them.
Don't come to my house. But this, I've like collected these over the years, so it's not like I went out and bought these yesterday. Yeah. These are investment, and by replacing the pads, you can extend the life of your headphones. But you can, like, I take these in and I plug them into my piano and play, so they don't disturb the house. So it's nice to have good sounding headphones you can use everywhere. So do you have anything about all this stuff that I just talked about? What to look for in a headphone?
No, man. I think I've gone through pretty much most of the things that I wanted to talk about. Of course, things that I did not mention are probably still in the carousel, so you can check those out. I really wanted to highlight specifically the Rodecaster Pro and your video podcasting stuff, because I think that's the huge stuff that is really going to be the future of what we're going to be going into 2023, believe it or not. So here we are in July. I think that's what we're going to see happening big time in 2023.
So I've got some couple more because there are some deals today. I don't want to.
What was that look on your face? You're like,
I was like, I hate to do this, but I'm going to do it because you can leave if you
do
need
it,
to,
man.
I'm like,
no, I think information is good.
This is these were introduced to me by Chad, and I was like, what in the world are these? And I am sold on these. These are what I use for walking now, because I have the Bose. I also have the Bose Batwing ones. They're sport headphones, which I used for a long time for exercise. These are the Aftershocks Aeroplex. These are bone conduction headphones, and then you're like,
oh, those
what?
are cool.
So they fit, and I don't know if I can do it with my things on right now. They fit over your ear, and they rest right in front of like your ear hole. I guess what you call it.
No, I got you. I'm picking up what you're throwing down.
And so it's a strange sensation, because what it does is it allows you to hear what's around you, but also hear music or podcasts or whatever. So when you go walking, you have total, you can hear what's your surroundings. Awareness. And you can hear a car coming up and stuff. And so and they sound really, really good. Like you could, everyone's like in the comments like, oh, they don't sound that great. I'm like, they're bone conduction, so whatever. And 2, they really don't sound horrible. I've like had, Walkman type earphones that were bad. These sound really good, and you can make calls with them. You can, there's just like one button. You don't have anything in your ear, so nothing gets gnarly and nasty. And they're super comfortable. In fact, my daughter tried these on and then stole them, and then I had to get another pair because she when she wears earbuds, they make her head hurt, you know. And I'm the same way. If you have the wrong fitting kind of earbuds, they can hurt, and these don't. Like, you will forget they're on your head until you like lay down and it hits the back of your neck. But these are super cool. They're waterproof. You can wear them in the shower. It has a magnetic charge cable, and there's a really long battery life on it. So these are really, really cool. So if you haven't tested these and you're needing some new sports headphones, it's great for podcasters too. So these are what I would check out. I'm so stoked about these. I mean, I like them. I think
I'm waiting for you to go like this.
Yeah, wait. There's one more. Because I'm trying to give you guys like stuff like that's on sale. Like, I went through this morning and last night and looked for things that you guys that could use that, you know, that they're selling right now. And so once again, we talked about Shure all day, and I'm Shure sent these to me, and I'm really excited that they did. These are their Ionic free headphones, and these are really cool. I've been
considering those.
They don't have sound cancellation, but they have sound isolating, and they're super comfortable. And they come with
I've been considering those
3 tips, and the battery life really puts AirPods to shame a little bit. So
does it really?
Yeah.
What are you getting out of them?
Like, it's like over 20 some hours. It's just crazy. So
oh man,
they're really, and it charges. The case is bigger than like if you're used to an AirPods case, but it's just really, the sound's really nice. You can make calls and do everything, you know, standard, but they just fit in the ear really, really well. And they're made, you know, some people thought they were a little bit bigger, but I don't think they look big. You know, you see those people with those goofy jawbone things on their head still. And so I'm like, these are fine.
Yeah, they hang out of their ear. I know.
Yeah,
I get it.
But these are really slick. So check these out. You know, Shure are sound people. I mean, they make stuff that makes sound. So, I mean, you got to kind of trust this company. And so they're really, really good.
So let me ask you a question on that real quick. So what do those 2 red dots on there mean?
That's getting charged because I pulled it out. And they're charging.
So
back
it's
up.
actually being charged right now.
In the case, yeah.
Why?
Just
that
like
is crazy.
Just like the AirPods do, but they charge in the case, and then so you have like a really long, and I'd have to look it up. I forgot to write it down. Really long life for just having them out in your ear. But I think you get like 2 or 3 full charges with this case before you have to charge the case. You charge the case right here at the bottom. So.
Oh man, I got to get me some of those.
Yeah. So they're actually on sale. 45% off today, so they're $100.
Oh, I gotta get me some of those. That's I know what I'm doing today.
And lastly,
I know what I'm doing today.
And I think I've said lastly like 4
times.
But
wait, there's more.
Yeah. So 21. Oh, Jim's got my back. He says 21 hours is the length of time. So I got my pop up there, but yeah, 21 hours is the length.
I feel like anytime a comment comes through that helps us out, we should do the air horn.
Yeah, I like. So the last couple things, because and I think you have this in your carousel too, is Prime Day is a great day to buy hard drives, and this is the last day, folks. So get them right now. This little gem, and I got this from Prime Day last year. This is a 2 terabyte hard drive, and it's an SSD. And it's so, you know, you can bang it around and it's not going to be jacked up. But like when you're going, we talked about traveling a lot today. When you want to back up footage or a podcast, or you want to take files, a lot of times I'll throw stuff on this that I need to work on while I'm away. And it's look how, I mean, it's small. Look how small that is.
So wait,
2 terabytes.
That's not 2 terabytes. That's 2 tetrabytes.
Yeah. So what did I say? What is it?
Tetrabytes.
Yeah. Whatever it is, the big one. It's not gigabytes. It's big. It's the one above that. So, that's a lot of storage, folks, for a hard.
No, that is for a little. Yeah.
And there's no moving pieces, and you just plug it in with your USB, and it's slick. And like this is
so that there's no moving drive in.
Yeah, it's solid state drive.
So I could accidentally drop that and not screw myself.
Yes, that's why I have it, because that's exactly
why. Well, I need to
so
get that
this.
then.
So it is 67% off today. Now So and they have different sizes, but I like the 2. Terabyte. Is it? That's what I'm supposed to say. Terabyte.
Yeah. We can say
sorry.
tetrabyte. It sounds cooler.
It sounds like something on Star Trek, like tetrabyte. But anyway, watch out for the tetrabytes. They're coming for you,
like a video
Captain
game.
Kirk. Yeah. So that's that one right there. And like I said, this goes in my kit. Like I have a little traveling tech bag that I have. This one's always in there. So snag that before it's too late today, and that is down below in the carousel. And the last thing is.
But wait, there's more.
There's more, and I don't have this one. It's actually on my. It's actually on my desk right here, and I don't have my camera to show it. Maybe I can. I'm not going to pull it out. Never mind. It's the 16 tetrabyte drive.
Oh,
terabyte drive. Okay. It's a 16 terabyte one.
Tetrabyte.
Yeah, and it's on. It's 40%. It's 47% off. But that's six. I remember getting like a 380 megabyte drive for video stuff, and I was like, I'll never need another drive again. And now with all the video stuff, and you need that. I mean, I have a network attached storage up there. I've got this. I have this actually 16 right here on my desk. I have two of them actually, just because I need storage. But these are the times. No,
I need storage. Like I remember I think it was last year. My 4 terabyte or tetrabyte, my 4 tetrabyte hard drive, it crashed on me, and I was like, oh my God, I can't do this right now. You know, I can't, like, and I was editing a podcast for us, and it was miserable. And so you always need storage no matter what, and you always need something that's going to be a backup too.
Right. So get those today while they're still on sale, because you can't, I mean,
I'm going to go to your storefront and get those.
Yeah. And the lady who was asking about the overhead camera, I'm dropping in my carousel if she's still around, because that's the mount that I actually use, and it's on sale today as well for 20% off. And it's a great metal mount for your iPhone that you can put on different things. It's got a cold shoe where I can attach a little light like this if I want to do some product videos. So check that out. I just wanted to throw that up there for her. But that's pretty much the last thing I have. Is I did a thing about this because I've been drinking this. It's my giant water bottle. Oh, yeah. Because when you're doing podcasts and live streaming, you need some water.
Yeah, you do need to hydrate.
23% off today, folks. Yep, there you go.
Yeah, hydrate up, friends.
Hydrate up. So is that all for you? You got anything left before we sign off?
Yeah, no, that is all. That is all that I got, man. I mean, there's a lot of great products that were featured today on on the tech side. You know, and there's going to be products that don't seem like they're tech, but they do relate to what you're doing, whatever you're doing with podcasting or video podcasting. So I think what you showed is a lot of really cool stuff.
Well, so did you. I mean, you had the big Joe Rogan mic right there. I mean, that's pretty impressive.
But I am not Joe Rogan.
No, you're my Joe Rogan. So
you're a kind man.
Let us know in the comments if you would like us to come back. You know, we're doing this for Prime Day. We kind of went long and we wanted to show some stuff off, but I really want to start doing some more Amazon Live stuff and get Shannon back, and maybe he can run through a training with us on like the Rodecaster Pro 2, maybe some proper mic setup and technique. I think that would be really great. So let us know in the comments if that's something you would like to see. I am going to be, after my office cools down tonight, coming back and doing another show with Jim. So check out with that. We're actually gonna scour tonight.
Jim is the man.
He is Dealcaster. He is Amazon. He knows it. So we're gonna go tonight later on, and kind of what we're gonna do is just gather great deals. Like we try to keep this towards podcasting and live streaming today, but we're all things are on tonight. So we're gonna find some great deals. Yeah, anything we can think that you guys would like to see, we're gonna try to find for you and highlight that tonight. So make sure you tune in.
Dude, I would totally love to join that if I could be here.
Yeah. Oh, you're working though. I mean, you have a job.
I would. Yeah, I got a real job, okay.
But make sure that if you're watching, make sure you do follow on Amazon, jeffc.live. That takes you to my storefront. You can just click on the follow button, and make sure you go to shanman.tips/Amazon. Do the same thing. It takes you right to his storefront. If you saw anything today from either of us that you want, go to either of these places and go down below to the carousel and click on that. And also, like, Shannon's done a ton of product videos. I've done a ton of product videos. We'd love it if you guys would look there, and if you like it, help us out by getting those down below. So
one real quick question before we go from Dorian. Wanted to know the brand name of the 16 terabyte drive. That's a SanDisk, I believe.
So that's SanDisk, but they're all on sale from the Western Digital, I think, is the parent company of this. But the 16 drive one, if I'll highlight it right now, Dorian, if you want to go. It's the deal of the day, and it's $237, I believe. But they have multiple sizes that are on sale. And depending on the size, you get different cuts of sales. But they're doing prime deal of the days right now on the Western Digitals and the SanDisks. So
yeah. So Dorian, it's not on my carousel, but after the live, you can head on over to Jeff's storefront at jeffc.live and find it on his carousel on his video, and you should be able to grab it right there.
It's highlighted right now if you want to check that out. So with that, everybody, thank you so much for watching. Dorian, thank you for watching over on Shannon's channel. Thank you for Ian and everybody and Jim watching over here. It's kind of cool doing these split channels at the same time where we can highlight different things, but we'll do this again. Appreciate all of you, and we will see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Thanks, guys.